The 16 Days of Activism for No Violence Against Women and Children campaign has drawn to a close in South Africa. Now, this is a United Nations campaign which takes place annually from the 25th of November to the 10th of December, which is International Human Rights Day. The theme for 2021 is the Year of Charlotte Maluleke, 16 Days of Activism, moving from awareness to accountability. Let's now reflect and take stock of the 16 days and whether it lived up to its mandate, seeing the escalating incidents of gender-based violence. And joining us now is Advocate Minkateko Maluleke, the Director General at the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities. DG, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to The Full View.
Thank you. Good evening to you and to the viewers out there.
Well, DG, many have questioned why we still have the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence in South Africa when the country's rate of femicide is alarmingly high, so much that it's been declared a national crisis.
I think we must be able to separate the two, in which sense awareness raising has led to everyone being able to say, I am raped or I've been assaulted at home, because now they know that it's not a private matter, but it's a public matter. So the 16 days doesn't mean that it's the 16 days where people start acting. 365 days, everyone who is responsible for ensuring that gender-based violence ends must be implementing some form of action. But within the 16 days, that's where we say, have we achieved? Did we not achieve? Are people still continuing? If you are quiet, please do something, get involved. Everyone must be involved. That's the purpose of 16 days, so that we come together to assess and evaluate and raise awareness. But also, as we said, that we're moving away from awareness to accountability. Everyone has to account, not just government. Yes, government must account, but also as an individual. What are you doing when you see your child assaulting a child next door? Do you say it's okay, or do you say violence is not the solution?
Yeah, and just, picking up on the last point that you made, did the 16 days live up to that, though, in terms of encouraging people to speak out when it's either they witness a gender-based violence incident or they are victims of gender-based violence?
I think it does. Not only that, because now what we've done, we were taking the 16 days to Parliament to say, Parliament, you are responsible for oversight. Call each and everyone in government to come and account. But not only that, civil society organizations, different institutions, they are also observing the 16 days during this time. Even private sector companies, there are those that are observing 16 days because all of them understand that we have to do something. Throughout the year, they're implementing, but during 16 days, that's the time where they're able to say, as a private sector or as company, this is what we've been doing to ensure that we end gender-based violence. Previously, you would find people saying gender-based violence is the responsibility of government. However, if you are in a mine and you are a woman working in a mine underground, it is the responsibility of the mine to ensure that you are safe where you are working. You know that we had an incident of a woman raped and killed underground. So that's why we say everyone has the responsibility. But also the criminal justice system comes in after the act has happened. It comes in after the effect. So if each and everyone can be able to prevent, how do we raise our children to ensure that our children know that I have to respect a fellow human being? I don't have to fight when I want to solve a problem. I need to tell them. How do you teach your boy child to say, if she leaves you, if your girlfriend leaves you, you don't have to kill her. You'll find someone who's better than her.
Now, DG, the fact that gender inequalities and stereotypes that exist about gender seem to be divorced from gender-based violence really is concerning. I mean, the general understanding is that gender-based violence is viewed in the physical form, yet it is in actual fact and amongst others a social construct. As gender stereotypes, yes, of course, affect the everyday lives of women and marginalized genders significant ways. Isn't it time now to extend our conversation to gender-based violence as a social construct?
I think you are correct, because even the Domestic Violence Act, it defines domestic violence as physical, emotional, psychological, economic, and any other abuse. And we normally look at gender-based violence as a male against a female. Can't even females against females. Bomakoti, they are treated badly, sometimes very badly, by squeezers, by sisters-in-law, for those that don't understand squeezers, by mothers-in-law, and all those things. So that's why I say it starts from home. How do we teach our children? From when the child is small, how do you say to your child, don't engage in violence? If you want to solve a problem, if you can't tell someone that you don't want what they're doing, come to me and tell me, and then I'll go to school and ask the teacher to intervene. I think this is what we need to do rather than say, Umshai, hit her.
And what we also need to discuss in greater detail, DG, is the issue of the cultural nuances. The fact that, some families believe that whenever they are abused or whenever the husband is abusing the wife, they need to keep quiet as a form of preserving the home because they have to, remain a home for the sake of the children. That, in fact, is perpetuating gender-based violence in a way that they're not even, they're oblivious to.
Yeah, just to give you an example, when there's a wedding, normally the mothers will be the one that say to the young girl, "Munna kislepe wa adimisan." So when he comes back in the morning, don't ask him where he's coming from. They are already inculcating a culture of disrespect by the husband because he's already heard them saying to the woman, you must not ask him. But also issues like, I know that there's a lot of debate amongst us and others where we debate about ukutwala. Some people say it's my custom, umamam watwalo and it doesn't make it right because your mother watwalo. It is wrong. 11 years or 12 years or 13 years, and sometimes by old men and all those. So culture plays a very important role. That's why dialogue is important. As a department, that is one of the other things. We started with the radio talk shows. We did 2 months, but at that time we were focusing on economic empowerment. One of the other issues that we want to discuss, where we use the radio stations, all 11 official languages, to talk to communities. We want also to discuss about issues of gender-based violence, to also include culture, issues of marriage. There's also a lot of abuse on issues of marriage, and I don't even want to touch on the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act, because men now feel they can take 3 or 4 wives and not do the correct thing, and when they die, the woman remains suffering because things were not done correctly. But also the family now saying, now he's whatever estate that you've contributed to, they want it because and whatever. There's a lot of cultural issues that also contribute to gender-based violence.
DG, I certainly hope that you and I will have this conversation in the coming weeks, in the coming months, not just next year from the 20th of November, because gender-based violence and the 16 Days of Activism shouldn't be a yearly event, but it should be an everyday ongoing conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.